you open yourself to acceptance. The results that can be so infectious, catapulting you see the projection. You just gotta know.
Okay, hello YouTube. My name is Wysol. Welcome to my channel. I've realised I haven't been introducing myself on any of my videos, like an idiot. So I'm going to start to. Anyway, today I want to be talking about two books. One's called the Pleadian Prophecies. Instead of putting an image up, I'm just going to show you in a video. So the Pleadian Prophecies 2020 by James Carwin. They're both channeled messages, so they're not like book stories, they're channeled messages. And the other one is the new Sirian Revelations by Patricia, Cori. Now, I haven't read them all fully, but I just wanted to discuss the topics that they talk about. Basically, when I study books, I flip through all the books. I'll probably put a link to the video that taught me how to do this as well. Flick through all the pages, all of them, go back, flick through all of them again, and then go through the bold line just to get the details as to what the book's trying to tell you, really. So they're both very similar, as you can guess. One's called the Pleadian Prophecy, and one called the Sirian Revelations. Revelations, prophecy, basically similar things, okay? So, I'm going to talk about the Pleadian Prophecy first. Actually, no, I'll talk about the Sirian Revelations, because that's a larger book. And then I'm going to talk about how it intertwines with the other one after. Okay? So, new Sirian Revelations. I'm going to talk about its chapters in a little detail. This is just, again, I haven't read these books yet, fully. I've just gone through the bold print, just checking out what they say. Because after I've read through all of these fully, I've already been thinking about a lot of these stuff anyway. So that's why I'm going to talk about it myself. So, new Sirian Revelations. The first chapter is called Earlier Transmissions. Now, in my opinion, I believe this is talking about things like the 50s, no, like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all of the pre-2000 years, earlier transmissions. So, if you didn't know, within World War II and stuff, they were looking for extraterrestrials in like Antarctica. They were looking for the inner Earth, etc., etc. So we've been having transmissions from these star systems for a very long time. Before World War II, let's be real. Before World War II, they've been here for a long time. But when we got aviation, is when we started to have contact, or more contact, because we were flying and they're flying. Okay. So yeah, that's the first chapter. Declaration of Intent. Now, I'm not 100. I haven't gone full detail into the intent of different alien races on this planet. As far as I'm aware, it is a big gene soup. So we all start at the 12th dimension. I'll speak about the new dimension, the 13th dimension, in a little bit, because the books talk about it. So we start from the 12th. And then we all come down into a lower density. So imagine this is the 12th density with a wide hand. And as we go lower, it gets denser and denser and denser into 3D. Okay? Yeah, Declaration of Intent, as far as I know, there are different species trying to do different things with the planet. Things like Anunnaki, they're trying to kind of make a supreme race. The Pleadian system, they're kind of... I've got a weird thing about them at the moment, although I'm connected to them as well. But there's like different beings in that system, so there's some other stuff going on. There's a big galactic battle happening, essentially. Anyway, Greetings from Satize is the next chapter on the Sirian Revelations. Now, Satize is, off the top of my head, is a planet in the system, or part of the system. They're known as the Elder Race in the Satize system. Like, the race that kind of seeded Earth, helped seed Earth. Because as far as I'm aware, the Pleiades helped seed Earth as well. The Pleiadians, or people from the Pleiades system, helped seed Earth as well. So that is the Greetings from Satize, just the Elder Race. Again, I haven't read these books, this is just what I know about these topics that I'm going to be talking about. There's a lot of topics, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. Okay, but yeah. What of the Stars is the next chapter on this book. I think this is to do with realizing, well, it's not to do with realizing we're from the stars, because that is another chapter later. Let's see, or am I thinking of the other book? Yeah, that is later. Yeah, what of the stars? I think this is just kind of star studying, realizing we're from different star systems. Again, I might do another video on this once I've read both books fully. But I just wanted to do a little video because I know they're intertwined, which is why I bought them at the same time. And now looking at the topics, it's just relevant to me and what I'm kind of talking about anyway. So the next one's cosmic soup. I've mentioned this in another video before. Earth is a cosmic gene soup. Lots of genes from different star systems are here on Earth right now. So that's a bit on cosmic soup from me. Navigating the 4D. So this is understanding of dreams and astral projection, stuff like that. This all started a while ago, a very long time ago actually. But it's obviously within the information age. You call the information age the age of Aquarius as well, but this is the start of the information age. This is the internet age, where, no offense to older people, but they had to travel places to go study, to go to libraries, etc. We have libraries at the palm of our hands with the internet. Okay, the intelligence of the next generation is going to be crazy high, if they are taught properly. Anyway, hope empowered. That is, I think that's to do with like the 80s and 70s period when the hippie period started coming about. The people were realizing they were interdimensional beings having human experience, and they were trying to put it out there, and no one really believed them. But nowadays, people are like, holy shit, they were correct. Yeah. Who shall inherit the earth is the next chapter. There's a lot of different theories on this. There's a theory of the 144,000. How they talk about it is going to be a split of twin flames. They talk about how it's going to be more than 144,000 people. The meek shall inherit the earth. There's a bunch of different theories on who's going to inherit the earth, whether it's going to be different species, whether it's going to be an older form of earthlings or an older form of kind of original earth species, kind of the ones that came out of the water. There's a whole bunch of different theories on this one. Parallel universes is the next one. I've talked about this before actually on a video that I'll link in the top corner called How to Shift Your Reality Easily. It's a very short video because it is that easy. Parallel realities are quite literally parallel versions of you that has made a different action. So how to shift reality is to make different thought forms, choices, change your tunnel vision. I'm going to make a little tunnel there. Change your vision. So stop going this way and go that way. Anyway, so that's parallel universes. I still might do a video on dimensions, but I need to get a bit more experience in dimensions before I start talking about dimensions. I can talk about parallel realities because it's a fairly simple topic to understand. But when you talk about dimensions, we're talking about levels of consciousness and quite literally dimensional portals and stuff like that. Anyway, next one is stargates, wormholes, and portals. Talking about portals, recently I actually saw an image on Instagram that talks about some stargates in Iraq. Now, obviously, as well with my studies on Atlantis, at the kind of middle stages to the late stages of Atlantis, they were known as wormholes, and it was known as an interdimensional spaceport, where different beings from different star systems were coming here, teaching us, we were teaching them, etc., etc. And also, there's a TV show called Stargate. Little tip, where do you think these TV shows, movies, and all of these, like, out-of-the-box ideas come from? They come from out of the box, right? They come from the Akashic records. They're all real. They just... because the system in power doesn't want you to talk about how it's real, they call it science fiction and stuff like that. Okay? So that's stargates, wormholes, and portals. You can also create portals I've been doing a bit of dragon magic research and found out you can like make a portal that you can use in astral projection to kind of port to the draconic realm. And don't get draconic realm with like demon realm, it's completely different. Dragons are older than demons. Thank you, come again. Anyway, electromagnetism. I've spoken about this before as well. Again, this is still on the new Sirian Revelations. This video might be a bit longer than I thought. Anyway, magnetism. You are an electromagnetic being. Your melanin, everyone has melanin, whether it's eumelanin or pheomelanin. You absorb electromagnetism, okay? Your eyes can absorb sunlight as well. So if you haven't been sun gazing, or you're not getting in the sun, it might be causing you to make you a bit unhappy. But this is the first and the only little chapter that has little breakdown points, because it talks about the electromagnetism of different planes of existence, or planets that you can call them. So it goes through Earth, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Pluto's Sun, and there's all the planets it goes through. But I just wanted to quickly do a little bit on a few of the planets as well. Because if you didn't know, check out the poles of the planets, because you won't find a picture of the pole of Earth. You won't find the poles of Earth in a picture. But you'll find different planets in a picture, which is strange. I'll put pictures up of these planets as well, like now or something. Things like Jupiter, the hexagonal. Each pole of each planet has got a little swirling thing. And this is how they theorize that each planet has an inner Earth, or an inner dimension to that plane. Okay? That's just a theory that's out there. If you look at the poles of the planets and then you study the inner Earth theory, why is there no picture of the Earth's poles? Why? Anyway, a few more little chapters to talk about. So, starseeds. Starseeds. Now, if you're watching this video and you've got to this point, you're probably a starseed. And you're probably thinking, about time we're talking about it, right? So, starseeds. Starseeds are... Some people say they are only from different star systems. Some people say they've lived in different star systems. In actuality, we're all star seeds. Doesn't matter what star system you're from. You're from a star system, whether it's this star system or another star system. You're a star seed. Yeah, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter if you're from Orion, Pleiades, Arcturus. That's in our system, actually. It doesn't matter what system you're from. You're from a star system. A star seed. You are a star seed, regardless if you're from a soul from the Milky Way. You're still a star seed. But obviously, different star seeds have different affinities to different things, depending on what star system they're from. I don't really know what different star seeds have different affinities to different things. Because I haven't studied that deep into different star systems, in all honesty. So I'm not going to talk about that. But I just know that they have a different affinity to different things. And there are planets and places out there that are no longer possible to go to. So some starseeds are actually here because they can't go home. For example, I know of Mintakans on a planet called Mintaka. Their planet in this time is destroyed. So they can actually go back there in the past. But if they were to go there now, they wouldn't be able to because it's not there. That can go into little details on my other videos, how alien life on Earth, because destroyed planets, those parts of the planets that got thrown out into space have gone on to different planets. Okay? Now these last 4 sections are very relevant now. The next one is technology and the mind masters. Technology at the moment is there to take your knowledge. In the future, it will be used to intertwine spirituality and technological advancements. Like, it's going to be a perfect balance between the two. We have a lot bad to go through beforehand, though, because the system wants to use that to manipulate our soul. It even mentions similar things when I was browsing through the book as well. How it's going to be, I'm going to quickly snip back to this one actually because I want to talk about this bit. Technology and the Mind Masters. Okay, yeah, it is happening. Where are we at? There you are. Okay. So yeah, the Mind Masters are essentially trying to control our minds, in a sense. I'm going to try find this a little bit, but I doubt I'm going to. But I think you know what I mean anyway. I would definitely recommend checking out this book. It does seem a slightly story-ish, I don't know. I mean, the other one seems, because it has the little details, it seems like it's broken down better. But this feels like a bit of more of a story because it isn't broken down as well. Yeah, talking about electromagnetism again. Yeah. Programmed to monitor, yeah. Bear in mind their essential program is to monitor all exchange between you, every single thought and every word, while directing your thoughts and desires to a frenzy fed of the lowest demonators. The Mind Masters. Don't stop watching TV. Even if you consider yourself in any form woke, stop watching the television. Throw the television out. You don't need it. Unless you're using it as a computer screen, throw the fucking thing out. Crash course with AI is the next topic. Again, slightly relevant because we're dealing with AI troubles at the moment, or AI fears. This fear stems from Atlantis and different planets, and different star systems actually. There's always been a fear around AI everywhere, not just here, because it is an artificial. Well, I have a different theory on artificial stuff. If natural things are making artificial things, is it actually artificial? This is my perspective in the future. We're going to understand that this artificial technology isn't artificial, and we're going to be able to intertwine it with the spiritual, but we need to get through that first. But yeah, there's loads of fear on AI because of what it can potentially do. It can essentially create a mind of itself because we're implanting our mental construct, a collective mental construct into the AI that it can essentially create itself. So that's a lot of fears around AI. The last 3, alien outposts and ET unroads. Just mentioned the poles. Ships can fly in and out. I'm not sure if one's like an entrance or an exit. Correct me on that if you know. If you know, pop it down in the comments. Alien outposts. People think there's something on the moon. The US government tried to remote view the moon and got detected before. Alien outposts, there's things known as Genosians as well, old earthlings that are on different planets. That's a pretty cool topic I want to check out actually. But the next one, and so goes the reign of terror. So, as you notice, this is kind of going in a story. Because the next one is called the end of the old ways. So that is, I'll explain that as well. But, and so goes the reign of terror. This is happening right now. It is ending. The reign of terror that is happening for over 10,000 years is ending. But they're going to be putting a lot of fear, again, out there. It's so funny how these are connected to everything I've been thinking about in the book. And how the future's going to unfold. This is all cool. It's going to be cool, but we've got a lot of stuff to sort out. Okay. End of the old ways. Balancing out masculine and feminine. End of how we used to live. It's happening. I see people changing as well. Like, people are posting things that I wasn't expecting them to post. I saw a post yesterday. I was like, whoa, I was not expecting those words to be written from you. But like, I sent a big wave of love to that person because I was just not expecting it. I was like, astral hug to you. But yeah, end of the old ways. The old ways are destructive ways. We've been living backwards, so it's ending. Okay. But yeah, Now I'm going to move on to the second book now. So Pleadian Prophecy. Again, I'm just going through the bracket points and what I think about the bracket points. Again, I might do another video on the whole thing another time. I might compare the two. I mean, you might be able to compare the two anyway while you're watching this. But they kind of speak about similar things in a similar process as well. They just make it shorter in the Pleadian book. So the first topic is known as universal knowledge. I'm going to connect these to the earlier transmissions and declaration of interest and greetings from Satyrs. What of the stars as well? Oh, you could connect them to like the first 5 chapters ish, first 2, and then I'll connect the other ones to the other 2. I'll explain in a sec. So universal knowledge and earlier transmissions. Again, I haven't read these. I'm just trying to connect the dots of both books. Okay. The earlier transmissions were trying to give us universal knowledge. Okay, universal knowledge is about like sacred geometry, DNA, epigenetics, laws of nature. Okay. The next topic on Pleadian Alliance was the secrets of the universe, and this is broken down into 4 phases, but in like 3 brackets. So the first bracket is the first and second phase. Second bracket is the third phase, and the third phase is called the death of science. Fourth phase is return of balance. So you could put these lot kind of at the end of this book as well, because it does go into semi-detail on topics to do with Earth, this particular book, the Pleadian one. So for example, you could put the fourth phase, return to balance, at the end of the other book called the end of the old ways. As I explained, the end of the old ways is the return of balance. Again, these books are connected and my mind's connected with these books. So death of science as well. It's not the death of science, it's more of a deeper understanding of what science is, because it is like an old, very old study of kind of alchemy, astrology put together. Science is the study of nature and testing it. To say that a Gnostic scientist isn't a scientist is really dumb, because like, how can you test spiritual things without having personal experience? So scientists need to intertwine with spirituality to get that personal experience to then throw out more and actual factual scientific proof, because they know it themselves. Like, they've had personal experience with these levels of consciousness and entities, etc., etc. The next chapter in this Pleadian book is Polar Forces of Creation, Angels and Demons. I'm going to quickly skip to that bit again, because that mentions something about ego, and not killing your ego, but killing different types of egos. So we've all got different types of egos, and it talks about the heart and the ego chakra. Now, the first ego you do want to get rid of is the one that's been constructed by the Matrix. So that name you were given, the ideologies you were given by your family or your friends at a young age, the things you were interested in that you weren't actually interested in, but it was other people that were interested in it. You need to get rid of those and get rid of that ego. The ego that you don't want to get rid of is your spiritual ego. People kind of hate this ego though, because it is a powerful ego. It is the knowledge of self-ego. It is, you know who you are, why you're here ego. Okay? So it's about balancing those 2 egos, the heart ego, the loving, I love everyone, I am everything ego, but you also need to understand that you are a separate form of God, just expressing itself differently. Okay? Through your genetics and your astrological programming. Yeah? So yeah, it says here, allow us to clarify some misunderstandings about the heart chakra and the ego chakra. Your spiritual communities believe that the heart chakra is the key to enlightenment. They put the heart chakra on a pedestal while rejecting the ego chakra as bad or wrong. I've just said that. We strongly disagree with this belief. The ego is the aspect of you that you feel deserving, worthy, and entitled to anything it desires. Okay, now remember, break the first ego first, because it is not your desires. And then once you know thyself, then you have your ego. Okay? So that is a quick one on the Angels and Demons. So the last bit is called Pleiadian Prophecies. broken down into little things. Again, I haven't read these bit, but I'm going to talk about my theories on these, and then I might do another one to see if they connect after this. Maybe like a week or two later, once I've read these. I'm doing a lot of other studying as well, and a lot of other things. I've got a lot of other ideas. So, general forecast: political system, the economy, technology, free energy, extraterrestrials, fourth dimension, terrorism and more, war, medical breakthrough, sexuality, death, Alpha Earth, 13th dimension, I mentioned this as well, and then it goes to the conclusion. So general forecast, the world's changing. It's going to change because the powers that be are getting a bit bored. They're fucking bored. No one's like waking up. They're like, where's the fun at? As weird as that sounds, that they're getting bored and they're not. They can do this to a lot of different planets, you know that, right? They've done this to other planets as well. And one of the channeled messages I watched as well, they said that like they're getting bored. So it's go time to wake the fuck up, because otherwise, what happens when entities that are going to give a shit about a plane get bored and give up? I'm not going to say anything, but just think about that. Political system. Change to the political system. The political system from... I have read this bit a little bit, because I did post it on my Instagram. Political system. Our political system comes from different other planetary systems. It's a monotheistic political system. We need to be a polytheistic political system, because, like I said before, we come down from the higher densities. The triangle should actually be upside down. I've really been hesitant to say this because of like positive and negative pointing up and down. But if the triangle's pointing up, that means there's one being at the top that controls all. If the triangle's pointing down, that means there's a bunch of beings that control all. You get me? And this is because of my studying in dragon magic. I've got a wider understanding of multiversal balance now. Not just universal earth balance, it's multiversal balance that I'm starting to dabble in. Anyway, the economy. The economy has been going through ups and downs for a while. I'm going to guess they're talking about how they're trying to make it seem like the economy is shit. There's a lot of people like, oh, the English economy is really bad right now. But like, if the English economy stopped selling like 2 rockets that fit into a helicopter, they could give everyone in this country a fucking face masks. If they stopped selling 2 rockets, they're like 30,000 each. They could give everyone in this country a face mask. There's so much greed. This government that is here to govern men needs to be removed or replaced. Because the government can work if it's replaced with people that actually want things for the people. My birth chart says I'm supposed to be like a political leader, so we shall see where the future brings us. Anyway, technology. I'm going to try not to make this video more than 30 minutes. So we're just going to go briefly over technology, free energy, ETs, because they intertwine with these as well. Technology is advancing at a much faster pace than you think. The government has a lot more advanced technology than we have. They slowly release technology out on a year-by-year basis to get money from you. ETs have been here the whole time. The whole time. You might have ET DNA. Most people have reptilian and Anunnaki DNA. It's just natural on this planet. Like I said, this is a gene soup planet. You've got DNA from a bunch of different things. The fourth dimension. Mentioned that before. Dreams, astral projection. Understanding that you are an eternal being having a human experience. Your soul can leave this physical body. You do it every bloody night. Or every time you go to sleep or you get a rest. Because all you're doing when you're sleeping is resting. You're not actually sleeping. You're resting your physical body or your mental body, depending on what activities you've been doing, if you've been mentally strained or physically strained. Next bit, terrorism and war. The fake war on terrorism, the fake war on drugs. The war on drugs kills 30,000 people a year. Pharmaceutical drugs kill 300,000 people a year. Who are the real terrorists? Yeah? Because all of these wars are there to just control certain areas and industries, like Afghanistan and Iraq and that they grow a lot of opium and cannabis there. Where do you think that's getting shipped to? We'll move on though. Medical breakthrough. I've read something about there's going to be a medical bed coming in, that they've got now, but they haven't put out because it has the chance to heal, like do miraculous healing. You could think of it if you've seen a TV show called Legends of Tomorrow. They've got a bed on their ship that they can like diagnose you and like check what you need to heal yourself and stuff like that. That would be very interesting, and it would save like time from doctors and stuff from like it would stop incorrect diagnostics of people. My family has experienced incorrect diagnostics before, and it's fucking awful when a doctor prescribes you the wrong thing and it fucks up someone's life. But yeah, next one is sexuality. I've thought about this for a very long time. Now, I used to be a personal trainer. Society has socially sexualized the people through things like Instagram, instant gratification. I do use Instagram, but I don't use it for that sort of thing. But it socially sexualized us. Now the gym, talk about the gym. Most people there, they basically look naked because they're wearing tight-fitting fucking clothings. This is how it's sexualizing us, because when you wear tight-fitting clothing, your clothing's your skin. When you wear tight-fitting clothing, people don't see your clothing. They see your shape. And then you've got things like pornography, advertisements, all of this stuff. Socially, music, sexualizing the minds of the people, thinking about bitches and fucking and drugs all the time. It's like, really? Stop listening to it. It's mentally affecting you. It's making you think of treating women like bitches. Using drugs all the time, and not all drugs are bad, don't get me wrong. I'm not an anti-drug person. I'm a pro-drug person, to be honest. I think that most drugs should be legalized and set out in a way that's logical for people to use, and like prescribed or not manipulated and not given stupid medication. Anyways, 32 minutes now. So death, Alpha Earth, and the 13th dimension. Death is, an illusion. I do theorize that your soul can cease to exist in some form. I do feel like certain powerful beings are able to like eradicate souls, like eradicate and like burn the soul, not like the physical body, but the soul, like so the soul ceases to exist. But that's just my theory on that one. But death is an illusion. We've all been here before. We're in a reincarnation trap matrix. The reincarnation trap is known as the white light matrix, or the moon matrix. The white light is a vacuum that's going to pull you in, give you everything you've ever desired. Say your family's here, oh yeah, everything's going to be happy as heaven, and then you're back onto Earth. Alpha Earth. I was thinking that the original Earthlings were going to want to try come back here. There's a lot of theories of like how the highly melanated people are the original Earthlings, but let's face it, the original Earthlings came out of the water. The OG Earthlings were water beings. Like the OG Earthlings, let's get real here. They were water beings. They came out of the water onto the land and evolved into land beings. They were androgynous. Okay? I was starting to think of the word for it, androgynous, so it was a masculine and feminine entity. That's also the story of creation. They created a masculine, the El or God, and then the Bible fucked this up and called it the Elohim created it. No. It's saying the angels created it. The Elohim didn't create it. El is Hebrew for God. El created the androgynous beings. That's the story. Okay? So that's just a bit on Alpha Earth. And the last bit is the 13th dimension. I mentioned this at the start of this one. 13th dimension. A new dimension is being formed. Once this Earth phases out of the 3D, or shifts, and it splits, supposedly another 13th dimension is going to be formed, according to this Pleadian prophecy book. I personally, I'm not sure. This is a bit of a new thing to me, this one. So, I'm not too sure on that one. But we shall see where the future brings. Anyway, that is it for this video. Just a little discussion on each of these books, how they fit together, and how it's relevant to today. Because a lot of it is, as you can probably tell about how I've spoken about it. Again, you can check these books out. This one is a £5. The other one is 15 quid. They're both pretty good, and depending on you, where you're at with your journey, it will resonate with you. It will definitely resonate with you. I just wanted to quickly read about this political system one last time. General forecast, political system. Just going to put this down quickly. Political system, yes. There we are. Your political system and economic system originate from the Orion star system. Millions of years ago, civilizations within the Orion system experienced an extreme degree of oppression. Oh, this reminds me actually. I knew it as well, but I didn't know it. Like it rang in my mind. This Earth, I can't remember if it was in this book or the other book. It speaks about how this Earth used to be run by feminine, and they were oppressing the masculine. So we're all dealing with karma right now. The feminine oppressed the masculine before, and now the masculine is oppressing the feminine. But now we're coming into a time where we're intertwining both energies. But yeah, those feminine energies in control were arachnid beings. It just reminds me of someone. Yeah, they were arachnid beings with like 6 legs and like 6 eyes and stuff. But that was pretty baffling to read. Again, I can't remember if it was in this one or the other one. Off the top of my head, I do think it is in the Sirian Revelations. Anyway, quickly. Orion's star system experienced an extreme degree of oppression. The tyranny that currently exists on your planet is only a miniature replica of what was established in the ancient Orion system. Like I said before, this planet is a mini gene suit, a galactic gene suit. It's what's happening on galactic scales on a small scale. It's what's happening on the 9th dimension within a 3 dimension. So in the 9th dimension, it is a wider scale. In the 3D, it's smaller. It's more dense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Okay? Thank you for watching.